So first of all, a very good afternoon to both of you, and thank you for joining us for this interview. First of all, we would like to ask for a brief introduction of yourself.
Okay, so hi Tushar, I am Bushra Ansari. So I belong from Muradabad, UP, and I did my schooling from my hometown. Then after that, for my graduation, I went to Banasthali University. So I did my BTech in Electronics and Communication. And okay, so after my BTech, I was more inclined towards the higher education. Fortunately, I got an opportunity to join PhD from IIIT.
I'm Sanad Biswas, Assistant Professor at Electronics and Communication Engineering Department at IIIT Delhi. So I work on satellite navigation, state estimation, space situational awareness, and space applications of various techniques that we use in navigation.
In what area are you conducting research?
Okay, so I'm conducting my research in GNSS reflectometry. So in the simple words, this is basically we utilize the Earth reflected navigation signal to study the underlying surface.
And what was the motivation behind pursuing that?
Okay, so basically I joined after my BTech, so I was open to various research areas. I did not have any specific area in my mind. So after joining PhD, I contacted Dr. Sanad and he told me about the various projects he was working on. So I read about those and finally I opted for the GNSS reflector.
How was the experience of representing the nation at the UN Austria Symposium?
Okay, so it was a good experience. I basically got an opportunity to talk about my research in front of the researchers from all over the world. And I also get to know about the different works that are being conducted in the same field for the sustainable development of food system, basically utilizing these space applications.
What was your reaction when you got to know about that your memory Bushra received this golden opportunity to represent the nation at such a high level?
It was really amazing. So because so we always want to get recognized from our community, and but when it goes to that level of United Nations and what gets appreciated, so that becomes much more delightful, I would say, and it seems that we are in the right path.
Is there any particular reason for you to choose the GNSS reflectometry domain for your research?
Okay, so basically in the Indian subcontinent, basically like 60% of the population is working in the agricultural field. So basically we need to develop some techniques that can introduce the smart agriculture, so it will help in the optimization and development of the natural resources as well.
How different is your research with the existing ideas and techniques, and how does it benefit the farming community?
It's a good question. So difference in the sense is that conventional remote sensing methods, right? So there you have to have these big transceivers on the satellites, right? So then the satellite itself is transmitting the signals as well as receiving the signal, and so they are very costly and there has to be very high power, right? So then if you want to do this using normal satellites, then your cost becomes very high. But here what we are trying to do is that somebody else already has put some money for establishing these navigation satellites. The transmitters are there. We are just want to use that receivers. In that way, it's a very low cost. That is one. Second is that when we talk about this conventional remote sensing, right, it's not basically very high resolution. You cannot get a local information. So most of the time your resolution for soil moisture or any other parameters that you want to measure, so that could be more than 10 km across 10 km, right? So then that means that these informations are required at a national or at a higher level, right? So this helps decision makers to take some decisions, but it does not help to farmer, yes, right? Because it's a 10 km across 10 km area data, right? So what would he do with that, right? So, but in this reflectometry, if you use this, right, so the resolution becomes a middle level, right? So, and also it's a low cost solution, right? So then it helps us. So then we get local information, yes, and that we can disseminate rapidly to the, yes, farmers, right? Or any other agencies they want it. So in that way, that helps, yes, a lot.
Yes.
What were the challenges you faced carrying out your research?
Okay, so I did not face much challenges here. Okay, so sir was always there to guide me at every step. Okay, but sometimes being a first PhD student under Sanad sir, so I basically miss having seniors in my lab that could also be there to guide me. So that was.
What kind of response did you receive from your peers at the UN symposium, and what were your takeaways from that?
Okay, so basically I got a positive response from my peers at UN. I presented my work under the title like Innovations from Space, that is presenting the techniques which is still under the development process and that can be used by users after 7 to 8 years. So after my talk, so my peers were very impressed with the work that we are currently doing in this field.
Natural resources are becoming scarce globally. Do you think that the collaboration between the countries having their GNSS system can help the humankind find a way out of this?
Yes, definitely. So it's since there is a global scarcity in natural resources, then obviously globally we need to monitor that what is happening and how much resources are left, right? And so for that, all the nations has to collaborate, and they are collaborating. And especially if you talk about GNSS, right? So currently they are mainly used for positioning, navigation, and timing, not for remote sensing. But this position, navigation, timing is very important, and that we use those services, right? Sometimes we even don't understand. I mean, we don't think about it, but still there, and that is happening because of these collaborations of various nations, and all the countries, those who have these navigation systems, they actually collaborate together, design the various signals. So that is already there, and obviously this is the international collaborations is way out in space sector because it's a huge cost associated with it, right?
What role the UN has to play?
UN has to play a great role here in the sense that the policy, devising various policies, providing various guidelines and regulations. So so that is required, because otherwise what would happen is that sometimes the playing field become a little bit skewed, right? But United Nations Office of Outer Space Affair is there for those, so that everybody has an equal opportunity, and also everybody actually focuses on sustainable development goal. All these things are actually provided by UN.
One of the most important facets of the research is to find the balance between the theoretical work and the practical implementation. So we want to know something about it.
Okay, so basically like studying and understanding concept is a must before conducting or starting your research. So basically we cannot directly move to the real world practical implementation. So we need to study all the related concepts beforehand.
While carrying out your research, how did the knowledge of theoretical concepts help you in the practical study? We would like to have some examples as well.
Okay, so for example, as we are currently designing a receiver for acquiring these navigation signals. So before designing that receiver, we need to like implement all those techniques using the computer simulations, and like we will also be verifying these techniques using the theoretical analysis as well, like whether we are going in the right direction or not.
Sir, how and when you hope to see your research with Bushra Ansari to be incorporated into the existing satellite technology?
Globally, space sector itself has its own inertia, because all the times we want the payloads to go up in space, which works perfectly in the sense 100% it has to work perfectly, right? So that is why the incorporation of new technology takes time, because it is expensive, right? So for this GNSS based reflectometry is already various experiment has been already done internationally. So for example, TechDemo satellite and then 6 GNSS by USA. So they are there, but they are all in experimental level, right? So we think that in next 5-6 years we'll be able to get the experimentation with our Navic constellation done, and maybe in 10 years down the line we could see some practical implementation.
As a mentor in this research study, could you tell us about what were your responsibilities?
So this research is actually funded by Department of Science and Technology Early Career Research Award. So one of the major responsibilities is managing the project so that we can finish it on time. Right? So obviously, since this is a research project, so I have to study the techniques itself, right? and as well as read about what are the new developments in these particular areas, right? And obviously guiding PhD.
What are your plans regarding this research?
So currently we are developing this receiver which can be mounted on a drone, and we want to demonstrate that we can measure soil moisture using this receiver using NAVIC constellation, Indian constellation, right? So once this is done, so we want to take our next step to the space, so that space grid reflectometry receiver, and we want to fit this in our CubeSat nanosatellites, which are this big, not more than that, shoebox size, right? So that's a low cost solution as well, right? So that is one aspect. But so that helps you to gather a huge amount of data, and that will help in large companies or national level for various decision making. But as I mentioned earlier, how does it help individuals, right? So that is difficult because it's, even though it's low cost than the existing remote sensing techniques, but still it's out of reach of individual players, right? Individual farmers. So for that we have a plan for making much more lower cost receivers, reflectometry receivers, which can be around estimated to 1 to 2,000 rupees. So that can be positioned locally, and then it can act as IoT device, which can give us alert that okay, so the soil moisture is depleted, put some water, how much amount of water is required. So that way one can individually optimize their water resource.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what are your future plans regarding this project?
Okay, so in future initially we are planning to make the output of this research available to the agriculture community as well. And further after this, I will be exploring the other applications of this GNSS reflectometry technique, and that includes basically sea state estimation, cyclone predictions, etc. So those are my future plans.
So thank you both of you for joining us and for this interview and sharing some key aspects about your research.
Thank you very much.
you.